So I recently saw Joker Folie Deux. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it, and for the majority of this video, I'm going to refer to this movie as Joker 2 for the sake of simplicity, and I am honestly just immensely frustrated and disappointed with what we got. Now, already going into it, I was very skeptical ever since it was revealed that the movie was going to be a musical, because I just didn't see how you could take the concept of the Joker and turn that into a musical. But my skepticism got even worse when the reviews for this movie started to come out as more and more people started to see it, and they were freaking abysmal. I kid you not, 99% of the reviews I saw were people just bashing the movie. I was seeing people say stuff like, "What the frick was that? Never let Todd Phillips cook again. I want my 2 hours back." It was just crazy how people were unanimously hating on this movie, but I went to see it anyway because by the time I saw the negative reviews, I had already purchased my ticket, and I went and saw the movie. As of recording this video, it's October 5th, and I went and saw it last night, October 4th, which is when the movie officially came out, and it was freaking terrible. I hate how this movie turned out, especially the ending, which, oh boy, we're going to be getting into that later on. But before I do, I want to give a fair warning that this is a spoiler review, as it says in the title of this video, so if you don't want to get spoiled on this movie and you want to experience it for yourself, then I suggest you click off this video, as I'm basically going to be going over everything that happens. You're still here? Alright, let's do this. Now, I would be lying if I said this movie was a total dumpster fire all around and there's nothing good about it, because there are actually some things that I did like about the movie. I really like the story of the movie and how the jury was trying to figure out if the Joker is really a split personality within Arthur and if he's actually insane, or if he knew what he was doing the whole time and the Joker is just a persona that he hides behind. I think it's a very cool and interesting premise, especially with how they went about it, as they pretty much stack up everything that Arthur did in the first movie and use it against him. From him killing those 3 drunk guys on the subway, to him murdering Murray Franklin on live television, to all the riots and chaos that happens at the end of the movie. I mean, heck, even Randall's death comes back to haunt him, but that's not the only thing they do, as they also bring back a couple of characters from the first movie, those being Sophie Dumont and Gary Puddles, who easily has the best scene in this entire movie. The actor who plays Gary, whose name is Leigh Gill, put on such an amazing performance. I mean, just watching him on the verge of tears telling Arthur that ever since he killed Randall in such a violent way, he's terrified 24/7, he can't go back to work, he can hardly sleep at night. It was just all so freaking amazing to watch unfold. But seeing all these events that happened in the first movie come back to haunt Arthur in the second not only allow for these really cool, "oh yeah, I remember that" moments, but they also serve a purpose in the story, which I think was really cool, and how they went about it was super well done, and that's about the only positive thing I can say about this movie. Now on to the negatives, and there are quite a few of them. The first one being really more so a minor nitpick, but I really wish that Harley and Arthur's relationship got a bit more time to develop, as they fall in love so freaking fast in this movie. I think it happens within like the first 30 minutes. I'm not even kidding, before they have their first kiss, they are in 3 total scenes together. The first one being when they first see each other and Harley pretends to kill herself with a finger gun. The second scene is when they're talking right outside of the choir room, and then the third scene is when they're watching a movie together and Harley sets that room on fire as well as part of the asylum, and then as chaos erupts and the sprinklers go off, Arthur and Harley share their first kiss, and then the scene after that they're in together, they have sex. So it all just feels very rushed. I get that it's not the main focus of the movie, but I wish we just got a couple more scenes of them together for it to happen more gradually. I honestly think they should have cut out some of the musical scenes in this movie in exchange for more scenes between Harley and Arthur, but speaking of the musicals in this movie, there are far too many. Now I know you're probably thinking, well Alex, yeah, it's a musical, obviously there's going to be musical scenes in it, but I understand, but the amount of musical scenes that they had in this movie was downright annoying. It got to the point where as the movie went on and a character started singing, I was just sitting there in my chair in the theater like, can we go 5 freaking minutes without another character singing, please? I think out of the entire movie, there was only one musical that really stood out to me because I really liked it, and I think it was called The Joker Is Me, and it's my favorite simply because I just thought it was really cool. Now I'm not saying that the musicals themselves were bad. In fact, I actually kind of liked them, since Lady Gaga put on a very good performance, and so did Joaquin Phoenix. He actually sung pretty well, but it was just so annoying the amount of times I got really invested in a scene and then out of nowhere a character just starts dancing. But it wasn't movie ruining for me. All the bad things that I've talked about up until this point, they were tolerable. It wasn't to the point where I was tempted to walk out of the theater or anything. It just made the movie less enjoyable, but but even then I was still having a good time watching it. I actually thought it was pretty good. Again, I really like the premise and the plot and what they were going for in the movie, but what really kills it for me is the ending, which is freaking horrendous. And one of the reasons why it's so bad, on top of it being terribly unsatisfying and abrupt, is that it basically undoes the first and second movie. And this is actually something my friend brought up as we were talking about the ending. In the first movie, you watch Arthur's slow descent into madness and watch him slowly turn into the Joker. But in the second movie, you watch the Joker slowly become Arthur again. And initially, this idea actually sounds really cool, as this could set up a redemption arc for the Joker, and Arthur realizing, oh my gosh, I am causing so much pain and terror upon the world, I should really stop doing this. But nope, instead what we get is a scene where Arthur is beaten up by the guards at the psych ward he's kept in, and it also is heavily implied that they raped him. And then he gets thrown back in his cell, and you can clearly see that he is just completely broken, obviously because he just went through some horrific stuff. And then he hears one of the patients that was a supporter of him get strangled to death, and then the next scene in the courthouse, he basically renounces the Joker. Like, he's pretty much just like, yeah, I'm done. I can't do this Joker thing anymore. I also killed 6 people, including my own mom. And it all just happens so abruptly. Like, you're just left sitting there being like, wait, what? What the heck is going on? But that's not even the worst of it, as by far the worst part of it for me was just seeing Arthur get stabbed to death by some unnamed psychopath that you see like 3 times in the movie, and you get one full body shot of him. And to say the least, that is such a terrible way to kill off a character you just spent the first and second movie getting to know and grow with. Like, this is on par with Joel dying in The Last of Us 2. It is just such a terrible way they chose to kill him off. It is just so unsatisfying. Like, Joker could have at least went out in a standoff against the cops or something. Like, that would have been better than what we got. The ending alone made me take the movie from a, okay, you know, this is fairly decent, to what the heck is this? And it really sucks that the sequel is this bad, because I thought the first Joker movie was amazing. I thought it was just a really solid standalone film, and then this movie comes along and takes a big fat crap all over it. I also just really wanted this movie to be good. Despite my skepticism and despite what everyone else was saying, I at least wanted to give this movie the benefit of the doubt. You know, maybe this is just one of those movies that the majority of people hate but you just really like. But clearly that was not the case whatsoever. So overall, I give Joker Folie Deux a solid 4 out of 10. I would not recommend this movie to anyone, especially fans of the first one, because this one honestly just kind of ruins everything the first one does, and when you're finished watching this movie, you're kind of just left sitting there feeling very unsatisfied and angry with how everything turns out, or at least that's how I felt. And that's gonna do it for the video. Thank you for watching, and yeah, peace.